My name is Steve, and I am a quantitative trader with a trading firm in New York, and I trade options and futures on my own accounts, as well as for prop firms, and I design indicators, buy-sell signals, algorithms. I write them all myself, and I'm going to share with you some information on how I do that and a little bit behind the algo that I am currently publishing, which is my trading strategy. And again, this is not an indicator, this is an actual strategy that will overlay on charts, and it comes with a full back test of 20 years on any instrument. I know it sounds crazy, but basically I'm going to run through how I do this and what I do on a day-to-day basis with updates and new systems and adjustments, and how I am platforming these into PineEditor and Python, C++, and building it as a software that can be used as not only a trading strategy, but it can actually now be used automated. So now if you load my strategies into TradingView and you have a broker connected to it, you can actually automate it and it will automatically trade based on your parameters, based on my strategy. Pretty cool stuff. So let's dive into some of this stuff. So I have TradingView here. This is essentially my algorithms that I've written. These are my indicators, and I have buy and sell signals based on certain parameters. And these parameters go into the code. So this is the code for these actual indicators, and then I'm going to show you how I go about programming it into an actual strategy. So here is just a regular chart with a basic stochastic indicator, which is a well-known indicator. It's been around forever. It's a basic algo that shows overbought and oversold situations in the market. Now, the code for this is located here. So you can see, let me pull it up here. Here's the code for the stochastic. So what I do, and I'll run through it with you. So I'm going to pull up Visual Editor. So this is a code that I'm working on right now for an example that I'm going to post on YouTube. And this is going to be useful for people that are looking to backtest their own strategy. So let me just run through it. So there's a couple ways that you can backtest strategies. And first and foremost, backtesting is the most important thing that you can do when it comes to trading. You have to backtest. It shows you historical behavior over periods of time and patterns and percentages and probabilities that are essential in any sort of a technical trading strategy. And the more you do this, the better you're going to get. It's just how it goes. And once you get to that level where you're backtesting, then it becomes a matter of timing. So backtesting strategies can take time. So if you do it manually, so for example, this is what I used to do when I started trading years ago, is I would use replay mode. And anyone can do this very easily. You can go at any time frame, and we have the Russell futures here, and you back up in time, and you can go ahead and replay the market. So it's a very simple thing. We went back a couple months, now it's replaying the market. And if we had a strategy we were testing here, we can go ahead and buy and sell based on the parameters that we're inputting, and we can manually do a back test and get the statistics. Now, there's nothing wrong with that, and most beginners and even advanced traders are going to use this method. It's perfectly fine, but the only downside is that it can take time. You typically want to have at least 100 trades, bare minimum, in a back test. So if you're on an hour time frame, and you need 100 trades, you could be going back years, essentially, at least months. And this could take, possibly a couple hours, maybe even days, to complete a full back test to get all of the data you need to see if the strategy is something worth doing. Now, the second way you can do it is you can become a programmer, essentially, learn certain languages, and you can write programs that can backtest instantaneously. And this is something that I've worked on over the past year and a half to become a much, much better trader, and the results are unbelievable. And we'll get into that as well. So what this is essentially, and what's great now, is TradingView which you can view a chart on any instrument that's tradable in the entire world in any market, is on here, which is unbelievable. Live in real time, the best software out there. So if you don't have TradingView yet, download it, get on it, start getting familiar. I'll post some other videos on getting some basics down to assist you with getting used to this, because this is a must for any trader. You got to have this. And if you want to use my strategies and be able to load my programs, you're going to need this to do that. I can send it to you right on here and it'll pop up on your screen. So again, the better way to do backtesting is through Strategy Tester. And what Strategy Tester essentially is, and we'll do a small example here, a quick one. So we'll just look up a basic strategy and there's a lot of them that are on TradingView. Now these are not the best strategies, but they're basic strategies. So let's look at a super trend strategy. So we load that, and now as you can see, it's already inputted the back test here. So just on a basic super trend strategy, you see it's marking all of the buys and sells over a time period of, well, you can set the time period, which is great, but we'll go ahead and go back to, we'll go back to April of 2022, generate report, and now you see that this strategy has been implemented over the past couple years, back to 2022, so a couple years. So this is the results. So if you had followed this strategy, let's remove the stochastic here real quick. This is a super trend strategy up here. If you would use this strategy, you could put in your parameters. You could put in a sample of the account size. You can set your risk, which we'll put 2% of your total equity. We'll plug all that in, and then we'll go back to the strategy tester, and it will actually come out with all of these numbers. So let's put that back in again. And it's beautiful. So basically you can go back in time, and in real time you can back test the strategy and see what the results are. And here's, it'll show you the results. We'll generate some results here real quick, and it'll show you exactly, the percent profitable. So it had a win-loss ratio of 39.16%. So again, this is a basic strategy. This isn't some home run strategy. It's very basic, but it's showing you that it was 40% profitable. If you just let it run on its own for a couple of years, you would have made 1.3%. You would have had a 2% drawdown. So that's 1 to 2. Not a great strategy at all. In all reality, does it profit? Yeah, it did profit over time, but there was quite a bit of drawdown, and the risk to reward wasn't there. But again, this is just an example. I'm showing you how it could work. So now what I do is I take my strategies that I build over multiple algos and indicators that I write, and I mix them all together. I change hundreds of settings, and I find a sweet spot, and then I do back tests, and then I keep tweaking it until I get to the numbers that I want. So obviously we're all looking for the same thing. We're looking for good risk to reward. We're looking for low drawdown. We're looking for a decent win-loss ratio, not too high, not too low. Currently I'm aiming between 65 and 70% with good risk to reward. I feel like that's just an absolute home run sweet spot that works very well in day trading, swing trade. It works in every time frame, and it just works really well. So that's what I aim for. And then what I do is I go into Pine Editor, and what I use to do the draft is I go ahead and code it up. And I'm going to give you an example of a couple things that I do here to get this rocking and rolling. So when you code up an indicator, I'm using Visual Studio, and eventually once I finish editing all of this is in Pine Editor language, this will be converted over to Pine Editor, and then it will be overlaid over the chart. All the data will be there, and then I can just tweak small changes and moving averages or whatever to go ahead and see, and it'll change the results in real time. So for example, I was entering a certain trade with certain parameters only above the 100-day moving average on a closed candle. it would change that, and immediately, live in real time, it will show me what it does to the win-loss ratio, it does what it does to the total profit, drawdown, everything. And I can see this instantly. So instead of me sitting here and making a change in a parameter and then spending 6 to 8 hours back testing hundreds of trades manually, I can just plug in the numbers and boom. And this is something you're seeing out there, you know, from some of the best quant traders in the world. This is what they do. I recently started trading with Hudson River Trading. They've got about 500-600 traders that are all MIT guys, that all they do is code all day and build algos and build strategies. And now what I'm doing is I've built a strategy that's been successful for me, that I make money with. I trade that on multiple live accounts, and now I am also writing my strategy into an AI language that will be able to be downloaded off of Marketscope.ai, and will be able to be used by any trader. A beginner trader will be able to use it, an advanced trader will be able to use it, and multiple versions of it that are the best fit for certain time frames and certain instruments. So I'm giving you a little piece here. So the portion of the video that I'm going to show today is really simple. I'm going to show, so one of the parameters we have to go ahead and put in to our code is our stop loss. Now you can do trailing stop losses or whatever. So if you look at my strategy, for example, so I'll pull up my strategy. So it looks very complex. There's all these different algos on here and indicators that I use. To me, I completely understand it because it's set up the way it is, but you know, the average person, if I were to explain it, would take them a while to figure out where the buy and sell signals are. So to make it much simpler, I am going to write the code into the strategy, and then it'll be overlaid on the chart so you will be able to see that. So one of the major things that we do is I got to put in my stop loss. So here is the language here for stop loss. So I'm currently inputting this now. Input stop loss amount, stop value, price stop long. So price stop long. So basically what I'm putting here as a parameter is, so what I do, and I'll show this real quick once I enter this code, price stop long at close of candles. So typically you want to do it at either open or close of candles. So if you've got a buy signal that, you know, initiates a trade, it's going to be at the close of a candle. So if you're on a 1 minute chart, as soon as that 1 minute candle closes and all your parameters are met, it's going to enter a buy. It's going to show the signal, or if it's on an automated trade, it's going to enter a buy. And then you also have to put the code in for your stop loss, and you can put a code in for your take profit. You can put in a code for a trailing stop. You can put it at a trailing stop at a certain point. So if you reach your risk to reward, you reach your target for that particular trade, it can then possibly cut portions of the trade, enter a trailing stop loss. You could program all of these things in and back test and constantly adjust and get all these things right until you find a perfect strategy or multiple strategies that you use over different time frames, different instruments. Again, we have time frames to be concerned about, and we have different instruments and different markets to be concerned about. Everything reacts a little bit different, but at the end of the day, math is math, charting is charting, and most of these indicators and algos that I build are just kind of general and work amongst anything as long as it has volume. That's the one common denominator that I've always found. Doesn't really matter what you're trading as long as it has volume. So if you're trading NASDAQ futures, S&P futures, Russell futures, any futures market, item, gold, commodities, or obviously the big stocks like Tesla, options, all that, you know, you're going to have good results with any algo that's putting out numbers you like, as long as it has good, solid volume. So that's what we're essentially doing here. So I'm going to go ahead and pull this up here. So what I'm looking to do here is to set the parameters for stop loss. So what I use, and this is going to be one of my little, you know, I'll reveal some information here, you know, before, but this, again, my algo and my strategies are going to be published here probably in the next week or so. I'm in the beta testing phase of making this very user friendly. Again, I can use it, but I'm going to publish it as a strategy. Again, it's not going to be an indicator, it's going to be an actual strategy. So when you download this and you plug in, you activate it into your TradingView, it's going to automatically show you the back test on it. You know, you can open a new stock, you can open up anything, and it's going to show you the data over 20 years of how it would have performed if you had used my strategy starting 20 years ago and let it run. instantaneously, and it's going to be showing you future buy and sell signals live in real time immediately. So it's like an indicator on fire, just unbelievable. It's going to be, extremely useful tool, and it's going to be coming from someone who has spent thousands and thousands of hours trading successfully and figuring out how to get ahead on the market every day. So again, let's go to so I use ATR, which is average true range. I use it for my stop losses. It's one of the things that I've been my common denominator when it comes to risk to reward. So when I catch a buy signal, so let's say, let's look for a buy signal here today on the Russell. So on the 15-minute time frame this morning at open, let's pull this up real quick. So let's adjust the time frame there to 15 minutes. I had a really nice buy signal here right at 9:30. Unbelievable buy signal on the Russell, and the Russell ran appears to be 30, 40 points right off the first three 15-minute candles. So a beautiful opening trade. I had traded the NASDAQ futures this morning, but the Russell kind of ran along with it. So if we come back here to the 15-minute time frame, we will go ahead and let's get out of this back test real quick. Let's go to live. So this would have been a trade that I would have made. We had the buy signal. So let me just show you how the ATR works for a stop loss. So when I'm entering a trade and when I enter it into my strategy, I'm taking the ATR at the opening candle. So if we took the trade here, we took it at the second candle, which looks like it was right about there. Okay, the ATR at that time, I take 2 times the ATR. So if the ATR at that time was 5.2 points, my stop loss is going to be a little over 10 points, so 10.5. So we'll go ahead and set our stop loss 253 down to 243. Let's go ahead and pull that up real quick. So we'll say 242 was our stop. And then I do a risk reward of anywhere of 1.5 to 2.0. So usually 1.5, and in most of my backtesting 1.5. It's a little more conservative, but I get a higher win rate with 1.5 than I do with 2.0. Now 2.0 is used on some different time frames more effectively, but on this time frame I use 1.5 for the most part. So we see how that trade would have played out. We would have made money. We would have closed out here. So, and that's how my stop loss would have been set. So if the stop loss was 10, when I go into my code here in Visual Studio, I am going to set my stop loss. So right now it's set at 10% of the price. I'm going to change that to ATR times 2. And that will go ahead and we'll delete this. So now when I'm building my strategy, this is just one code, stop loss and target price. This is one portion of it. I'm building into my strategy that when it enters a trade, it's going to take the ATR at that time, multiply it by 2, and that's going to be my stop loss. And then we put in our risk to reward, trailing stops, and so forth, so on and so forth. So I just wanted to make a little short one here to get everyone started. There's going to be more videos to come. I'm going to get back to work on my code here, but I'm going to keep everyone updated in the loop. I'm going to do a couple very simple strategies and do some examples because I know there's a lot of people out there that want to learn to do some of these kinds of things and do some basic coding to do backtesting. And I'm going, I've learned this stuff myself over the past year and a half, and I'm now applying this to my trading, and now I'm able to trade multiple dozens of strategies in a day, make changes to strategies in a day very quickly and easily, and that has been very useful to my trading. So like and subscribe to my video. I'll be back for more. If you have any questions, shoot them in the comments, but there's going to be a lot more to come here, some very useful stuff that I am going to be offering out to the public very soon. And happy trading, everyone. I wish you all the best of success, and I hope you follow me because I have a lot of great information that will help you get ahead, whether you're brand new to trading or in the advanced stages and just trying to get better. This is going to be extremely useful information to you if this is something that you're not doing yet. Thanks, and take care.